Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. I'm standing in the shade over here in the long border because it is a bright and beautiful late fall, early winter day here. It's gorgeous and I want to get some work done. It has been an absolute gorgeous fall season here in Northern California. We have gotten cool enough weather where we've gotten a lot of the leaf color. We've had a lot of red and orange leaves that have just been absolutely beautiful, and it's taken these trees a while to lose their leaves. Just now, like you can see my fig tree is starting to go into dormancy. It's losing its foliage. My pomegranate tree is starting to lose its leaves as well. But I still have so many blooms. Look at this Embrace Rise Up Rose. Look at how beautiful that is. And then the plain blue salvia behind it. Everything is just looking really, really pretty. I've been enjoying it a lot. So one of the things that I have been working on this fall is doing better at maintenance, because Jason and I have just been in maximum planting mode, just trying to get everything planted in the garden, which we've done a really good job. But when we do that, the maintenance kind of gets pushed back to the bottom of our list. And so I really want to focus on maintenance more. So last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't remember, with Thanksgiving. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I worked on the orchard garden and I got a lot of maintenance done there. I still have more to do, but I got a good handle on that. This time I'm out here doing maintenance, I want to work more in this area, which is kind of the end of the orchard garden, what I call it, and then the Willow Tree Garden bed. So some of the things I want to work on, you can see I need to start picking up my limes. Look at how many limes we did not get off of this lime tree. These limes are the most delicious limes I've ever tasted in my entire life. It's crazy. And I can still eat a lot of these limes. We've had some of them even after they turned yellow, and they're still good, but obviously the ones on the ground, I want to make sure I take those up so that we don't get any critters or ants or anything like that. So I need to pick those up. I do have some daylilies right here. These are called Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Is that what they're called? Yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Tears daylilies. Beautiful. I just want to kind of clean up the foliage just a little bit. There's not too much to do over there. Then I have these Alliums here, which I need to clean up those. I was debating on just kind of taking them out completely, but because I have some new growth, I'm going to leave them and I'm just going to kind of clean them up and see if they come back again next year. I have to point out my Niagara Falls panicum. This grass is so beautiful, you guys. It is so gorgeous. I just love the fuzziness of it. Yes, we got another delivery of mulch. I'll show you where we've been mulching. But look at these grasses. Aren't they so beautiful? They're just the prettiest things. And I'm going to leave those seed heads up all winter long so that we have some winter interest. They're all browned out, and in probably late January, early February, I will come and I'll cut them back so I can have some new growth. But look at the winter interest on these. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? So I'm not going to touch those, but what I am going to touch is the stuff behind it, which are my Matilaha poppies. Now, I know they look really good right now, and you would think, why would I cut these back? But you want to cut them back for new fresh growth in the spring, and also so that they don't get too out of control. So this is my really big job today, is cutting these two Matilaha poppies back to like 3 to 4 inches. So it's going to be a pretty intense pruning, but now is definitely the right time to do it. I can also do it like in February as well, but now is a really good time to do it, just so it just doesn't get out of control, which I know is a bummer because they look really pretty, and I don't technically have to do it, but I don't want them to get out of control because we are going to be putting a pathway right here, and I don't want them to encroach on the pathway. I'm not going to touch my absolutely stunning willow tree yet. Look at how beautiful this thing is. I need to come and I need to clean up inside it, but I'm not going to touch that yet. I am going to come and deal with this yarrow over here. This yarrow definitely needs to be addressed, and I think I'm going to pull it. I think I'm going to pull it out just because I have not enjoyed this yarrow whatsoever. I've even cleaned it back to see if I like it better, and it is just not my favorite thing. You can see it's kind of a kind of a bank right there. And then coming up here is the new cat's meow nepeta that looks so much better than the yarrow does right there. So I'm going to pull all of that out. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut back all the foliage on my bearded iris. My original plan was to actually transplant my bearded iris, but the more I was thinking about it, it said that it can take up to 2 years for bearded iris to bloom. So it's been in here for 1 year. So I'm going to give it 1 more year in this spot and see how it does. We're not taking this raised bed out just yet. We will be taking it out eventually, but I think I'm just going to leave them in and cut them back and see what happens next spring. Yes, we have this digging stick here. I don't know why it's here. I'll have to ask Jason. He must have just left it out or something. Anyway, so a lot to do. Again, I like to limit my maintenance, this type of stuff. I like to limit it by time. And that way I feel accomplished, because then I can work. I give myself 2 hours. Then I can work for those 2 hours. And then I can put a big check next to my maintenance. Otherwise, I'll never have a check, because maintenance is never going to be done in a property like this. Really, even a smaller garden, maintenance is never really done. You just have to start over after you finish. So by giving yourself a set amount of time and working out there for that amount of time, at least it gives me the sense of accomplishment. All right, let's get going. All right, 2 hours later, and I am happy that I am done, because I am now very hungry for lunch. So before I go inside to get something to eat, let me show you all everything that I did back in the Willow Tree Garden bed today. So first off over here, I'm sure that was tough for some of you to watch me pull out that Firefly Peach Sky yarrow back here. But I had planted it a year ago, and I had given it some time to not even impress me, just not, I don't know, I don't want to say it, sounds harsh, but not disappoint me. I just didn't like the bloom color. I didn't like the faded blooms. I didn't like the foliage. I didn't really like anything really about that plant, at least right here. So I ended up taking it out, and I am super happy I took it out because I think it looks so much better. And it just makes me excited to think what else I can plant in this spot. It kind of just needed to come out so I could imagine what else could go here. So I'm really, really happy I did that. Then coming over here in this raised bed that, like I said, we are going to be removing, but we don't have any plans because first we are working on the center island in 2025, this upcoming year. And then I will put my attention on the Willow Tree Garden bed the year after that. So I'm just trying to clean up everything in this garden bed, but you can see I'm having a bit of a problem because the bearded iris is running into the lavender. Nothing is really looking kind of good here. It's all kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of all scrubby and a mess. So I think I'm gonna, luckily bearded iris blooms pretty early in the season. So I'm gonna give it until that point to see how it does. And then after that, if I still don't like it, I'm gonna be ruthless like I did with the yarrow. And I'm thinking about taking everything out here and kind of restarting and seeing what else I could do. Because I think this raised bed does have some potential, and I don't think I am using it to its maximum potential at all right now. So at least I cut the bearded iris back. You need to do that to make sure you don't get any disease on the foliage or anything like that. They don't need to be divided because they were just divided last year, so that's not the problem. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I just have to be patient, and I have to let nature take its course and decide what to do. But I also don't want to hold myself back from enjoying an area in my garden just because I'm keeping plants and just waiting for them. So like I said, I'll wait until next spring, see how they do, but at least for now, I cut them back and they look nice and neat and manicured right now. So then over here, you can see the big change. I cut back my 2 really big Matilaha poppies, and I didn't need to do that now. Like I said, I could have done that in February, but I do want to limit the growth because they definitely spread. Look, you can even see over here. Here's this one. And then all the way over there, I've got another one popping up. So I got to make sure that I take care of that. And I knew it was going to be like that. I was prepared to have these Matilaha poppies be like that, but I'm okay with that because these are native. These actually were in the running for California State Flower, and California Golden Poppy obviously won, but it's a good plant to have in your garden. It's a good plant to have. And if it spreads out over into the other side of that fence, I am totally fine with it because I do think they are actually really, really beautiful. But I do want to limit the growth. I don't want them to come over this way at all. So cutting them back right now hard was definitely the thing to do. Okay, and then I came and I worked a little bit over here. Right here is an area that I will fully admit I am perplexed with. I don't know what to think, what to do. I planted 4 Serenity Alliums right here, and there are gopher mounds all over the place, which is weird because gophers aren't supposed to like alliums. Alliums are supposed to deter gophers, but like this one almost looks like it was eaten by gophers. Same with this one, and this one looks like it was kind of left alone. I don't know. I have no idea what to think about it. So I pulled off all the dead foliage. I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna see how they do again next year, but it's just the funniest thing, you guys. Like, what is up with these gophers? I've got the weirdest gophers ever. So yeah, my alliums are being attacked by gophers. And then coming over here, I have my daylilies. So when you clean up daylilies, you can cut them back. Like at this time of year, you can cut them back, but it's better if you just clean up all the old foliage. Basically, the new foliage will come up in the middle, and then the old foliage will kind of splay out onto the ground. So I just went around underneath all the new foliage and cleaned up as best I can. I think they look really, really good right now. And I definitely want to add more daylilies into my garden next year. I also cleaned up all the limes that fell on the ground. That is quite a pleasant job because it smells so good, but you can see how many more limes I have. I mean, like here in California with all the orchards and the citrus that we have, you can't give away this stuff at this point. I mean, there's just way too much of it. And my orange trees, they are going crazy. They've got oranges all over them. So, you know, I feel bad throwing away all those limes, but there's just no way. There's so many of them on this one tree that's not even that big of a lime tree, but it's just crazy. Look at that. I mean, it's amazing. It is a good problem to have. Over here, I have my Ladybird Sunglow Calliophis. This is hardy zones 8 through 10. So it is going to overwinter for me here. So I just kind of cleaned it back and, cut it off the pathway, cleaned it up a little bit. It's not blooming anymore, but that's going to come back next year perfectly well. And I love that plant. And then I just cleaned up the pathway a little bit. And then over here, I pulled my annual marigolds that I had planted here for one of my blooming gardens. The marigolds were just temporary because they were annual and they had already gotten kind of nipped by the cold already. So I pulled those out and they look really good. I do want to show you all something. So I planted some cherry bandana lantana. I think that's what you call it. Planted 1, 2, 3. And look at this lantana. Look, I've heard that lantana can make berries, but I've never actually seen it. And here it is. Look at these berries. Isn't that cool? I mean, that probably means it is not sterile at all, but that's okay. It's not invasive for us here in California. I just thought that was really cool. Most of my lantana that I get is from Proven Winners, of course, and Proven Winners likes to breed their plants to be sterile so that all of the energy can go into the blooms rather than setting seed. Those plants I just got from my local garden center. They're not Proven Winners plants. So I think that's why I don't normally see berries on my lantana. It's because I usually go with Proven Winners lantana. Anyway, so I got a lot done today. 2 hours. My stomach is rumbling. I had a really light breakfast this morning, but you all don't need to know about that. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today. And I did pull my, why am I blanking on the name? It starts with an M. Magnolias? Mums? What is the name of that flower? Magnolias. What is the name of that flower? Marigolds. Oh my God.